What makes practical effects better than CGI?
In my opinion, practical effects are more tangible than CGI. So it comes to me like this. I love to use Planet of the Apes as a example. When I think of Planet of the Apes and I think of Cornelius and Dr. Zaius and Aldo, I know what these characters look like. I know I could draw them. I could pick them out of a crowd of cosplayers. I know who they are. And I've seen those movies 100 times. And although I've seen the new Planet of the Apes with the digital apes, I couldn't draw a picture of Caesar. I don't know what Bright Eyes looks like. I couldn't tell you in a crowd of cosplayers who's who. Even though they have distinctive war paint, it doesn't recognize in my brain the same way that like the looks of something tangible that was sculpted resonates in my brain. And I think that might be different for people that grew up especially nowadays with the video game culture and the people that live in their screens. Maybe they accept digital effects and CGI differently, but someone like me who grew up with real life stuff, I feel, because I was never really a gamer or anything, and I didn't live in a screen, so I don't find it as memorable when I watch something that's heavy CGI. I just don't recall it the same way. I don't remember it the same way that I do something that's very tangible like practical effects.
Do you think that's because with CGI, it's easy to copy and paste, like your monster? You can copy and paste like a Word document, whereas the practical effects, even though there was molds, they still had to sculpt and cut and do things more organically? Yeah,
I believe that it has something to do with dots and circles versus a physical item. I mean, whether or not you can copy and paste a CGI character, I don't really know how to create them, so I wouldn't know. But as far as like there's something about when you see on screen something you can actually touch rather than something that is put there that we're to believe we could touch. Yeah, it's a different type of art, and I don't think that CGI is wrong or bad, like especially when used as a tool in the right way. I mean, Guillermo del Toro did such incredible things with Pan's Labyrinth that wouldn't have been possible just with practical effects. He understands how to use CGI as a tool amongst the practical effects, and the artists that did that stuff pulled it off fantastically on both sides. So you look at something like Peter Jackson's King Kong, and that King Kong creature is incredible. I mean, the hair work, the expressions, the emotion is 100% CGI, but it looks incredible. It's a piece of art. But as far as the real King Kong, a little bit more rudimentary, but it's more memorable to me.
So you think that audiences can feel the difference between practical and CGI? Or do you think it's a generational thing?
100% an audience can tell the difference between a practical effect and a CGI effect. I think audiences are more forgiving now in 2026 than they ever were up until, I'd say the 2010s. And it's not that the technology's gotten better, because when you look at Jurassic Park in 1993, the CGI in Jurassic Park is unrecognizable. You cannot tell where the practical stops and the CGI begins. You look at James Cameron's Terminator 2, I mean, we're talking early CGI. It stands up today. It's perfect. It looks beautiful. T-1000 is perfect. He was also made with a lot of puppetry and a lot of practical effects combined with the liquid metal effect. So, can an audience tell that it's CGI? Of course, 100%. If you're picking apart a movie for how it's created, whether it's stop motion, makeup effects, or CGI, you're already trying to be smarter than the filmmakers. You're not releasing yourself to be entertained, which is the whole point, to watch a movie and be entertained. If it doesn't entertain you because it's CGI and it's not memorable, which happens to me in a lot of cases, like I have a hard time with movies like Beowulf because it's so CGI heavy that I just don't recall it. I can even say that with like some of the Bourne movies, the Jason Bourne movies, have so much CGI, explosives and car crashes and this and that. They're not memorable to me. I love an action film, but give me Last Action Hero, where they were really flipping cars and blowing up walls, you know? I don't know if it's generational, but for my personal preference, the type of brain that I have, I am a practical guy first. And I won't speak for everyone, because obviously the Marvel movies are a huge success and they're filled with CGI. People love them. And I'm not saying that the thousands of CGI artists in those credits aren't creating art. They are creating their art. That's just not the art I prefer. I prefer something by Gabe Bartalos or John Buechler, these rubber monsters, you know?
It seems like when it's too CGI, it runs into, like, if you look at social media, you see the AI videos and they look really good, but you can still tell that there's something wrong. It's just not right. See,
I disagree in a little bit by your words wrong and right, because you have no ground to stand on to say that it's wrong or right. For you, yeah, you see that as not for me. But the people that love that, the people that's their art and they're playing with it and their tool and they're being entertained by it, the next generation of people that are going to grow up with the AI and turn into something else. See, AI and CGI are completely different. So as an effects artist, let me just take you down a journey where I moved to Hollywood in 99, 2000, in the advent of CGI. As computer-generated images were becoming popular, easy, and attainable, as a makeup effects artist, our whole industry got shook and thought we were extinct. Oh my God, we're going extinct. This new Gollum is completely CGI and Jar Jar Binks is completely CGI. We're done. They're not even gonna have us make monsters. Well, not true. It really became a tool that we could work together, just like how stop motion and animatronics can work together. We can work together with CGI. It's a tool. But now the CGI guys are crapping their pants because AI is coming for their job the same way. It's like, well, now they don't need Dennis Muren and his 5,000 workers to make this scene, because I just did it on ChatGTP before breakfast with a couple swipes of my finger and talking into my phone. And that's true. I've seen some effects that are transformation effects that put American Werewolf in London to shame. Like, such realistic transformation effects, humans turning into pigs, things like that. And it's incredible. It's an incredible tool if you can work it and get it to do what you want. But I wouldn't, as bad as a goofy makeup from Troll 2 looks, or a goofy piece of CGI from an Asylum movie, or weird AI that has 6 fingers instead of 5, there's just as much amazing art in the same space from all three elements. You'll never get me to sit here and tell you that they're wrong, because they're not. They're just evolving.
That's a great way to look at it, to embrace everything, because it's going to happen whether you want it to or not, right?
Well, I was pretty anti-AI for a long time. Like, I was like, oh God, I'm afraid of Terminator. I'm like, oh, it's all going to happen. We're all going to go. And then all these people, like, they're ripping off art. They're ruining art. And I'll say this is controversial, but somebody put it into perspective for me. They said, and this is great, we have a photographer in the house. Is photography an art? Do you believe photography is an art? Of course, we all do. Well, before this magic box that could take your picture happened, there was Renaissance painters that painted families. They painted your dog. They painted your house and your pond and your backyard. You paid a lot of money for this guy to paint and make his art. And then this magic box showed up and you hit a button and it did it. It took the picture. And you don't need to pay that guy anymore. You don't have to pay that guy for hours of work to paint the royal family. You just take a picture. And then when film went away and digital came, that's ruining everything. But now you're a photographer, but do you use a 35 millimeter film camera, or are you shooting on a Canon Rebel? Like, I'm underplaying it, but a DSLR. We all shoot digitally now, and Photoshop is our art now, right? It's not a negative. AI is just that magic box that can take the picture. It's just going to be honed, and the craft is going to be, manipulated until we ascend into something else, and forever in 100 years they'll say that AI was art, and there never was a question that it wasn't, because photography is an art. It's taught in art school, you know.
Thanks for watching Untitled Interview. If you liked the conversation you just watched, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested, there's lots more just like that right here.